I want to talk about a danger in crypto, the pump and dump. Many people that look at rising cryptocurrencies consider, should I also buy into the rally? But then more often than not, we see a subsequent crash. Now in this video, I want to talk about the potential hints, how we can find out whether or not a rally is natural or it's artificial. And we do this based on the Bless token. Bless is now at 9 cents, but yesterday it was above 20 cents. It came out of nowhere, a 7x in a single day, from 3 to more than 20 cents. The market cap went from 55 million all the way to 400 million. Now this does not mean that hundreds of millions of dollars went into the token to then get extracted out of it again. What this actually means is that the liquid supply got bought up. So whenever $1 is put into a cryptocurrency, if there is a lot of illiquid supply, it can push up the market cap much more. $1 into an asset can mean $20, $30, $40 increase in the market cap. Whenever something is going up, we have to look at the data beyond just the price, because sometimes those rallies can continue. The first source is always AI, so CoinMarketCap does have its own AI, and on the day of the price surge, this was the reasons that the CoinMarketCap AI gave us. The Binance Alpha competition, which was not limited to the Bless token, a technical breakout. This is a reason we always get. If technical analysis was that strong that it could predict 400, 500% rallies, everybody would be using it. But the outperformance to be made with TA is much more nuanced, is much more subtle than that. And then also speculation around a listing on centralized exchanges, which there is across many assets all the time. So none of those reasons are really convincing. That's our first red flag. That's the first reason why we probably should be careful whenever something is going up. But then we can also have a look at on-chain data. There are two versions of the token. There's one on Solana with 11,000 holders, and there's another version on the Binance Smart Chain with 4,000 holders. The Solana-based token has pretty much no liquidity on-chain at all. The largest liquidity pool has only $7,000 worth of the token. Much more liquidity is on the Binance Smart Chain. Here we've got 1.2 million worth of the token. Here are the on-chain data on Solana. So while we've got 11,000 holders in total, only 146 wallets hold more than 5,000 tokens. At the current price, it's only $500 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, it's $5,000 worth of the token. For the chart on the right, it's $50,000 worth of the token. So the numbers here are incredibly small. Again, another indication that the Solana token doesn't really move the price much. Have a look at the Binance Smart Chain. Here the numbers are a bit bigger, as in there are more holders across small retail, medium-sized holders, and whales. Again, that's equal to $500 minimum holding, $5,000 minimum holding, $50,000 minimum holding. But again, we can see there is no real increase in the number of holders across the board. There's no new whales, there's no new retail investors. And so fundamentally, with any rally, we always have to ask ourselves what's causing it. Is it organic, as in a lot of small investors getting into the token? Is it artificial, because maybe some whales buy the token? Is this potentially leverage triggered through the perpetual futures? When we look at the on-chain data on the Binance Smart Chain of Bless, we don't see any purchases on-chain. Now, why would anybody want to manipulate a price like this? One reason is just to create some attention. It's just to bring some people into the asset, or at least to put it on the watch list. This is the vesting of the Bless token over time. Only 18.8% of the tokens have been unlocked, and this will more than 5x over the next 7 years. So the token is highly inflationary. Long term, the price is very likely going down. But in order for all of those insiders to cash out, they have to find sufficient retail demand. And what creates retail demand, what creates attention, it is price movements, it's price volatility. Thus, I'm not even sure if the Bless token will always stay low. Probably at some point we will see continued volatility again. We might see another pump and subsequent dump. This is a project where many people have the incentive to bring in more retail investors. Here's Bless relative to the others market cap. So how is the token doing relative to all other altcoins? This was our pump, here our subsequent dump. And we are not yet back to the base level, but it's not really certain that we will actually go all the way down here. We might see another squeeze and a subsequent one. Again, because insiders want to get some money for their unlocked tokens. Since it's not purchases on chain that are driving the price, it seems to be the perpetual futures. So in the last 24 hours, we only saw 75 million worth of trading volume on PancakeSwap. Again, that's on the Binance Smart Chain. But compare this with the bets on the price, the perpetual futures. Here we had 1.8 billion worth of trading volume. So really, this is all short-term leverage that pushes the price around, and then arbitrage bots just make the subsequent trades on-chain to just balance out those prices. With the first rally, we saw some shorts getting liquidated, but then market makers also went long and pushed up the price further. The funding rate is currently positive, as it should be for most altcoins. The open interest, of course, went up. We are now at 140 million. Again, for an asset that's got a market cap of only 170 million. So the bets on the price are almost as big as the market cap. This again, huge leverage. The trading volume on the perpetual futures market skyrocketed, and so did the short liquidations. So the people that bet on falling prices, they lost their shirt. And so that's the most important data, right? We have to figure out, are there some news? Who's buying here? What is causing the rally? What's currently pushing up the price? If there is no purchases on chain, if there's no great news, but we see all of this liquidation activity on the perpetual futures market, then potentially this is manipulation. Now, just because something is manipulated today doesn't mean that it can't get manipulated in the future. Very often we see a second short squeeze, a third short squeeze. We see this kind of volatility build-ups regularly. There is a ceiling of how much an asset can be manipulated, but that ceiling is definitely not a market cap of 170 million. That ceiling is rather in the 2 to 6 billion in market cap. Now, I'm not saying that Bless will 10x from here. They will get to $1 until we are at 1.7 billion. Who knows how much manipulation we will still see, but I don't think this will be the last short squeeze. There's a good chance that we will see this token pop again. And when it does, it makes sense to sell very quickly into the rally, potentially with a trailing stop loss. So as the rally stops and we don't continue rising, we just adjust our stop loss to then sell when the momentum turns around. Now, isn't it fascinating how for most altcoins, the movements to the upside tend to be much faster compared to the movements to the downside. We shoot up and then over a long time we trickle down. Here's the example of Dogecoin relative to the others market cap. So when there's news, when there's a lot of attention, the Dogecoin price shoots up within 1 or 2 days to then come back down over several months. We're seeing the same for the Trump token. We shoot up. This was the announcement of the dinner. And then subsequently we come back down. There is a difference though between Dogecoin and the Trump token once we zoom out. So again, this is Trump relative to the others market cap. So the market cap of all of these smaller altcoins, and here is Dogecoin relative to the others market cap. So while we do have our pump and dumps in both cryptocurrencies, the long-term trend is very different, as in Dogecoin just goes with the overall market. It simply just trades in a somewhat constant range, while Trump tends to long-term underperform. And there is a fundamental reason why Trump underperforms long-term, and that is tokenomics. It's new tokens that hit the market over time. Have a look at the following data. This is the number of Trump tokens that get released over time. We started off with 200 million. Now we are at 363 million. So it's the early investors, it's the team, etc. that cashes out over time. And that selling pressure, those vesting unlocks, that dumping on retail, that's what's creating the long-term underperformance. Now, some people say that markets are efficient and that everything is already priced in, but I don't think those charts show that. There is inefficiency, and we can simply turn this around. Let's say we've got Bitcoin relative to the Trump token. Then we're getting this chart here. So since Trump launched, Bitcoin outperformed the Trump token by 560%. This is how I believe we can make money in crypto. It's not trying to find the one outperformer among all those altcoins that always go down. It's doing the exact opposite. It's trying to be allocated in a way that we make money when the insiders and the early investors make money as well. When they are dumping on the average retail investor, we make money because things like Trump tend to underperform long term. As long as the token dilution continues, as long as new tokens hit the market, this chart is very likely going to go up. I'm making money with that strategy already for 4 years. This is a monthly chart. Had I just dollar cost average into Bitcoin, I would have gotten the return here in light gray. Instead, I got the return in black because I also bet on falling prices of various altcoins. It is a mistake just looking at US dollar charts. Really what matters is your portfolio value measured in Bitcoin appreciating over time? If the answer is yes, you're probably doing something right. If the answer is no, then you might just well stick with Bitcoin and dollar cost average into Bitcoin and stay away from altcoins altogether. The Trump meme coin is just one out of many examples. Most altcoins have an increasing supply, and so here with Balancer relative to Bitcoin, so we go long Bitcoin, we bet on falling prices of Balancer, we can get this long-term chart. The strategy looks quite straightforward. There are a few caveats though. So for example here with the Bitcoin to Balancer chart, we do have a lot of volatility along the way. Where does this volatility come from? It comes from small market caps. There is some token manipulation. There is some short squeezing happening along the way. And the smaller the market cap is, the more volatility we invite. So while the strategy is long-term profitable, we have to be aware of the potential pitfalls as well. And so I made dedicated videos on the topic. How can we actually make money from those inflating altcoins? Most altcoins do poorly and we don't have to find the needle in the haystack. The one altcoin that does well, we can just bet on the haystack continuing to go down because again, the early investors, the VCs, they cash out and they dump on the retail investor. There are two important videos to watch: using perpetual futures on hyperliquid and risk management with relative valuation bets. It's half an hour each, so in total 1 hour of content. And after you've watched that, you know what to do in order to set up positions like this. Now, this here is currently my favorite trade. So this is the position that I will recommend to you once you have joined the premium membership. So you watch those 2 videos, you join the community. Afterwards, I will send you what to do in order to set up this trade. If you don't make money with that trade after holding it for 1 month, then I'll refund you your membership fee. I'm that confident in the strategy that you can simply just open that position, and if you're in the red, I don't want your money. The fee, by the way, is $125 per month. Again, if you don't make money with that trade, I will refund that. But of course, it's a monthly fee. So I share all of my trades in real time with the premium members. So for example, over here, this is where I closed a short position on the movement token. Move was also highly inflationary. We opened this over here where we were at the upper end of the trading range on a relative valuation chart. So we always look at the altcoin relative to the rest of the market. And then when we make quick gains, when we get closer to the lower end, we might also take some profit and wait until we go back again to the upper end of the trading range. I know at the beginning this strategy can be a bit daunting, but again, there is support in the different chats. There's also moderators that can help with any questions you might have. So feel free to check it out. The link is directly over here. Just click on the screen. It will lead you to the premium website. If it's the very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish these regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in premium. Cheers.